Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening on this Wednesday. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Wednesday evening. My name is Therese. I'm the content creator and founder of the Amateur Football Platform. And to the left of me is Jamal Horn from the London FA. Good evening. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, not bad at all. How's it going?
Yeah, you know what? I cannot complain. I cannot complain. So you know what? Let's go straight into this. What we're going to do, we are going to go over the second round draw of the London FA Challenge Cup, sponsored by yours truly, and we will go through the fixtures. Again, we're not going to spend too long. We will probably review some of the teams, some of the tasty fixtures, and literally probably talk to Jamal in terms of what he expects in the final. So yeah, let's go straight into it. Let's go straight into it. Actually, before we begin, can you literally tell anyone out there when the next round is?
Yeah, the next round will be the 1st of November.
Cool.
So we're now currently in the round of 32, and well, I don't want to spoil what we're gonna speak about next. But yeah, next round is Sunday, the 1st of November. Then after that will be Sunday, the 29th of November.
Cool, cool, nice. So, the first fixture, Saha Men's versus Kamazi Strikers Firsts.
Mhm, mhm.
So, from the kind of get go, I've kind of said that I went to the Saha game against Orpington, and Saha are one of the dark horses. Definitely, they they definitely have the ability. Um, they they literally had the opportunity to actually kill off the game early, um, and that just shows how much how much control they had throughout the whole game. Is there anything that you kind of know about Saha?
Well, I believe are part of they're in the Croydon Municipal Sunday Football League. I do know some people that know them well. They're pretty well respected. I had to get more familiar with them because I'm the kind of person that I always need to know what an abbreviation or an acronym
Hmm.
means. So I had to find out that stood for Sports and Health Academy.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that interests me. I then spoke to their popular Sunday teams about their opinion of Saha, and they all pretty much said the same thing. Fairly young side, athletic, and I think some of the more well-known Sunday teams will to beat them. But if they do draw them, they're not expecting an easy game, which is a very, very huge compliment. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about Saha. It's a lot of respect for them as a team.
Mm. And Kamazi Strikers first. I do not.
Commodity Strikers is basically in Sunday football a pretty strong brand name. Not so much in the recent years, but definitely between sort of 2000 to 2011, 12. They were a very popular club. They were a very successful team. Did very well in the London Cup and National Cup for basically the whole decade. I think people have to understand between a club and a team. You have a club with a strong brand name, but there are some times where people retire from the team and they have to be replaced, basically. And I think Kumazi were going through that, but they've rebuilt. They're back in the Sunday Challenge Cup, the Premier London Sunday Cup competition, and they're into the round of 32 now. They've drawn Saha, and I'm sorry, I tell people over and over. People always ask me, "Oh, I know you run the competition. Who do you think will win? Or who's your favorite?" Listen, people think I'm trying to be impartial and trying to be unbiased. No, I don't know who will win. This is basically the World Cup, and there are 8 or 9 countries who are more than capable of winning the World Cup. It's this principle. There are 8 or 9. I actually calculated 12, but I spoke to some other people like, no, they can't win. Whatever. I say between 8 and 12 teams are more than capable of this trophy. They have the skill, the ability, the strength and depth, and I know that's just a common phrase. People, you always say Jamie Carragher, Jamie Redknapp, Roy Keane. Oh, strength and depth. They lack strength and depth. No. Strength and depth means they have 17, 18 players who are good enough to be in the starting 11 at any time.
Yeah.
So 3 players injured, no biggie. They still have another 15. 2 players play non-league matches, no biggie. They still have more players. 2 players showing symptoms, doesn't matter. They got more. And there's about 8 or 12 teams that have serious strength and depth. They don't rely on a small amount of playing available, and it's all going to be down to who turns up and plays the best, and the draw can make a difference.
Yeah.
But in reality, I don't know who will win the tournament. Their position is full of wolves, and everyone should be afraid of everyone. This competition is not a joke.
100%. So the next fixture, Panathinaikos FC first versus is it Spring Hill United first? I don't know either.
Yeah. So Panathinaikos, Greek team based up in North London, they knocked out Rising Ballers last year. So I remember speaking to the referee after that game, and he was like, Jamal, listen, Rising Ballers, almost every time they went forward, they either hit the post or got a corner. So clearly Rising Ballers outplayed them, but they were unlucky. But Panathinaikos still got a scalp and they 1-0. So I'm sorry, if that isn't enough for you to take them seriously, then I don't know what is. The Panathinaikos is a team you need to take seriously. The Greek teams, the Cypriot teams, the Turkish teams in this competition all need to be taken seriously. They're always very organized, they're always very passionate, and they just know what they're doing. And if you draw them, you're not going to have an easy game. You're going to act Rising Ballers that.
Yeah.
As a Woolwich and Elton team, I remember refereeing them 7 years ago. They had a really good team then. So I think with that length of time, they're probably rebuilding now. This might be their rebuilt team. So, once again, they got through time, and you have to respect that. So we'll see.
Cool. Next game, Kenningwell United first versus Olympia first.
Two London Cup Sunday team royalty, both of them.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of history.
The final in 2019, I believe, to Dunlopinnar at Haringey Borough. And Kenningwell have been to several London Cup finals since 2000. Once again, they're probably rebuilding. But once again, if a team are rebuilding, you need to figure out if they're rebuilding or is this the rebuilt team, So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And I know Kenningwell, they literally have a lot of history. They have quality players. And on their day, they can really give anyone a game, and they can turn over anyone.
Yeah, I was speaking to a few people earlier. They identified 3 guys that were capable of being a final, and I think this is one of them for sure. But I haven't seen Kenningwell play in a while. I've seen Olympia, really strong side, and yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
The next game, Bayer Leverkusen versus Gower All Stars. So Gower were in the final.
So Gower. So we have 3 tiers of the Sunday Cup. Gower were in the Sunday Junior Cup in 2019. They got to the final of that. They were unlucky in that one. They got beat by FC Karpaz, which is a Turkish team. They got beaten that. At the start of this season, Gower contacted me and said they want to go to the Challenge Cup. And I said, well, I mean, you got to the final of the Junior Cup. You have a right to stay another season in that to see if you can get to the final again, maybe win it. And their manager was like, no, we want to go up to the Challenge Cup, which is they've jumped 2 cup competitions. They got to the final of that. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. People say, oh, they got an easy draw. They're lucky. They're not that good. Listen, they haven't lost. They haven't been knocked out of a London Cup competition since 2018. So the only time they've lost was in the final.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how that can be taken seriously. And for anyone who at the Lambeth All-Stars final, where Lambeth All-Stars were cruising 3-0, it could have been 4, could have been 5. Gower is that typical team. And if you are a footballer at any level of any experience, just like Gower is a type of team where you are 3-0 up, you're cruising, you're chilling, you're showboating. They get a corner. The guys turn around to each other and say, "Come on!" You think to yourself, "Oh Lord, what have we done?" Gower scored. Lambeth made another pretty bad mistake. Gower scored again, and before you knew it, we're being pressed. And right then, in that 10-minute period, everyone saw how Gower got to the final. They're not a team you want to play. They're not a team you want to play against. If you do, you have to be very serious. And then when you have a lead, you have to really put them away.
Yeah. The next draw, Highgate Albion first versus Lambeth All Stars.
Yeah, so Highgate Albion lost to Gower in extra time in the semifinals last season. So, we were literally minutes away from this actually being the final last season. Highgate Albion, Bonnet Sunday League, very well respected, run by some really knowledgeable people. And then you have the holders, Lambeth All Stars again, London Sunday Cup royalty. Very popular team since 2000. A lot of London Cup final appearances. Regulars in the National Sunday Cup. I was at the quarterfinal against SC Dons. I was at the final. I saw their semifinal on YouTube. I mean, I don't know how you can't take that team seriously. And Albion are not going to play around. They're going to take that game very seriously. They already are. That will be a game. And this was we were minutes away from this being the final last year. That says it all.
The next game, Under the Radar versus, and again, apologies about the pronunciation, Kilim, is it?
Yeah, Kizillimack.
Yeah.
Kizillimack.
Kizillimack.
Yeah, so Kizillimack got knocked out in the semifinals last year by Lambeth. And anyone understands how knockout football works. If you lose to the champions, you kind of have an element of belonging. Like, we belong here. It took the champions out kind of thing. That was a really close game. Lambeth looked comfortable in the end, but it was a very close game.
Yeah.
And Kizillimack were no one expected them to go the farthest out of all the Turkish teams. But they did, and it seemed like they deserved it. Under their very well-known team because of FIFA money. They're in the Woolwich and Eltham League now. I don't know how good they are in comparison to the London Sunday Team Elite. Kizillimack last season are definitely amongst the elite. Under the Radar are going to get a true test. So all of the games will be played on Sunday, the 1st of November. This game is the exception because Under the Radar are playing in a Woolwich and Eltham Cup final. They requested permission, and I 100% supported that. A cup final is more important than this. And they'll be playing in that cup final against Jam. So all the best Under the Radar, and we'll be playing against Kizillimack in this competition on the 8th of November.
The next fixture, SC Dons first. Again, apologies. Dum Lapinier.
Yeah, Dum Lupinar Yani Malachispor. So Dum Lupinar were the champions in 2019. They beat Olympia in the final. And this is the reverse fixture of last season. So last season, SC Dons and Dum Lupinar played each other, I think, at age in the round of 32. And SC Dons, I think, won either 2-0 or 2-1. But that was up in North London. So now this has been reversed. It's come out. And, you have the power of the draw at your fingertips. You may get some ideas in your head, but I just did the draw, and this is what naturally came out. This could have easily have been the final last season. This could have easily been this season. Both of these teams, you don't want to draw these teams. Both of these teams would not have been happy to draw each other. If this was the cup final, I would have been very pleased. I'd be very pleased because the football would have been out of this world. It'd be very competitive. It would have a very big crowd. So this is definitely one of the ties that could have easily been a final.
The next fixture, Rising Ballers FC versus M Boys FC.
So M Boys are basically a new team that a lot of us don't know too much about. I remember speaking to one of their club officials a couple of days ago, and it's good to get to know him. He seems like a nice guy. Rising Ballers, Rising Ballers, SC Dons, I mean, these organizations, I have to say organizations now. These organizations, more followers, subscribers, get more views than Celtic, than Fulham. That's just the fact. I'm not saying people want to say they're overrated. They want to say SC Dons are overrated. Fine. Overrated doesn't mean they're not good, though. And I've seen both teams play more than one occasion. Recently, I saw them play each other at preseason. I mean, I don't know if people are jealous, if people don't like the hype. Forget about the hype at the game. First things first. You want to understand how a team plays. Look at the managers. Look at the managers. Junior James, Gaffer Maz. These are not these. Come on. These are very respected people who know the game inside out. The teams play just like it. Rising ballers. It's hard to bet against them. I expect them to go farther in the competition. And boys have a huge opportunity to name for themselves.
The next game, AFC Hammersmith Town first versus Oakwood A team.
AFC Hammersmith Town in modern time, meaning the last years, London Cup royalty again.
Mm-hmm.
They final of the Sunday Trophy in 2019. Then they came on the Sunday Trophy this season. So once again, having been knocked out of a London Cup since 2018. And all that proves is these teams don't really know how to lose. They know how to avoid defeat. This is not the Premier League. This is not the Champions League. Okay, this is like the FA Cup. If you lose, you're gone. There's no time for poor performances and whatnot. AFC Hammersmith Town and Gower, these teams know how to put 6-7 wins together. Without loss. And Oakwood. I don't know much about them, but Oakwood up against it. You're playing against a team who don't know how to lose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I think a lot of people do sleep on Hammersmith. They have a history. Some of it's really, 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 really good. Some of it can be questionable. But overall, they are a really, really strong team, and you cannot underestimate Hammersmith. You cannot underestimate.
I mean, if you, I just don't see what there is to underestimate. Obviously, I've seen them play. I don't know if other people haven't seen them play. If you just go by results, to respect them. But once again, this is not a league match. This is cup football, and this team, if you get to a cup final 2 years in a row, come on. I just don't know how you can't respect that. Cup football is crazy. You only need to have not even a bad game. You only really need to have a bad 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Concede 3 goals in that 20 minutes, and your season's over. So to go through that 2 seasons without being, you have to respect that. I'm sorry.
100%. The next fixture, Beatty Squad FC versus FC Elmstead FC.
So when I was doing the draw, I was only really terrified of one thing, because when you're doing a draw and you're trying to uphold your integrity and your honesty, you don't want anyone to ever claim that you're doing anything untoward or in the draw. I was terrified of Beatty's drawing Mile End Squad Beatty. Terrified of it. I'm really happy that didn't happen. Beatty, very respectable side. I won't talk about their internal politics, but they're trying to overcome that, which seems good. I don't know them well, but they seem to have a really good team. So we'll see how that goes. And FC Elmstead, I don't know much about them either, but I know they were in the competition last year. They got to the round of 16. So once again, you have to respect that as well.
Yeah. The next fixture, Hatcham Vista versus AFC Balham Firsts.
Yeah. So Hatcham Vista, I know people from Orpington and Bromley will know this much better self, but it seems as if there was a team called Vista last year, and they sort of linked up with a team called Hatcham. So they've become Hatcham Vista,
yeah.
which that's how things have historically in football. That's how things work. 2 teams come together or amalgamate and take each other's names. So we'll see what kind of team they have this year. Again, the results will determine.
Yeah. Regarding Balham, I know Balham from the Southern Sunday, and I think
Okay.
their result against in the first round was probably the biggest shock.
Mm.
You know, they are they are very well organized. They just got promoted to the Premiership of the Southern Sunday with Wimbledon Town.
Mm.
But in all of the games that I've seen them play, they they are, yeah, I said before, organized. They are willing to work, and if they take their chances, they are a very hard team to break down. A really, really.
Well, I mean, I think the London Cup is interesting, very similar to the FA Cup in the preliminary rounds because you basically get the chance to find out which league is the strongest. Now, the Son of the Sunday is very well respected in the way it's run and then the way it's organized. The only part that needs to be added to that, I guess, is in terms of other teams respecting its Prem division. It seems as it comes to the elite Sunday teams, they tend to come from the Woolwich and Eltham, the Orpington and Bromley, Barnet Sunday League. But so AFC Balham have a real good opportunity here to fly the flag for the league and kind of prove, hey, listen, our league needs to be taken seriously, other than just being the way it's run, also in the quality of its Prem division as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So the next game is Grand Athletic versus Clapham Rovers first.
Yeah, so Grand Athletic beat Jam in the previous round. Jam is a club I know a little better, and they seem to come up pretty comfortable winners against them. I mean, you can never really read into a score too much. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who wins this game because some were saying that these two teams were quite lucky not to come across one of the established teams or better known teams. But we'll see. A good opportunity for both clubs here. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. The next fixture, Westminster Wanderers first versus Brixton Adult.
Yeah. So Westminster Wanderers versus AFC Brixton. Both teams seem pretty excited with this draw, which is really interesting. Yeah, from both accounts, and they were like, "Yeah, we're happy with that draw." I'm like, "Do you even say that about you?" Westminster Wanderers, I think, are Southern Sunday as
Yeah.
well.
So it's in their premise.
So once again, they're not just playing for themselves; they're playing for their league because they know that the Southern Sunday League has just swallowed up all of Southwest London. That league really overtook and completely just ate that whole area up. And now, if their teams were to perform well in this year's competition, that will really put Southern Sunday on a whole different level, whole different. And Westminster Wanderers have a chance. They've got AFC Brixton, and AFC Brixton. I think got knocked out last year by SC Dons, yeah, they got pretty well beat, but I think SC Dons just put all the chances away, and AFC Brixton it took too long to recover. But once again, you speak to any team that's AFC Brixton, you never get an easy game. This is cup football, and it's just interesting that both teams were happy with the draw because someone has to lose, someone has to go home. So, yeah, looking forward to that one.
The next fixture, Myland Beatty squad versus alumni of is it Grave?
Yeah. So Swag, they're called Swag.
Back.
Southwest Alumni of Gravity. Yeah. So I mean, Myland squad Beatties is really interesting. You have a bit of a Manchester City, Manchester United situation between Myland. So yeah, Justin, the gaffer Justin, referee his teams on several occasions. Referee his Averley team, his Barking team. He's a pretty well known non-league manager. And speaking to some people earlier today, they just said any team managed by him, you have to take seriously. He gets players who want to run through a brick wall for him. It's such a cliche, but what that really means is on a Sunday morning, when you're not feeling that well, you play the game on a Saturday. You don't really want to play. It's raining. Justin's the gaffer. He's that kind of gaffer that makes you say, "No, you don't run the cup today. Let's play." And playing against motivated players is never easy. So, And so people are expecting Marlin to win this one and progress, but you know, they did it on paper or on predictions.
100%.
Yeah, and
Yes, why? Yeah.
Swag got very badly in this competition last year, so I actually thought they wouldn't be in this competition this year. But once again, they've won their first round match, and once you win a London Cup match, that changes everything.
Yeah.
Because they got beat like 8-0 last year in the competition, and I remember their name because it's a quite unique name. I'm like, sorry, you don't seem to the competition for you. You might want to go down one or two. And they've come back and they've won their first one. And you win your first London Cup match, you got to be confident to win the second one.
Yeah. The next fixture, the Wrong'uns men versus is it Continental first?
Yeah. So I think both these teams are in the Barnet Sunday League. And I know people join the London Cup to not play teams in the league. But sorry, it's just a draw. It comes out that way. Even in the FA Cup, two Premier League teams can draw each other. That's just how it works. So yeah, Continental pretty well known. I've been hearing about them for a few years, and the Wrong'uns I've only known by name because their name is just so unique. Of course,
Crazy.
The only benefit, I mean, the Barnet League are probably happy because no matter what happens, you're at least guaranteed one more team in the round of 16. So
yeah, very interesting. And the last fixture is it Omana, London's first, versus Club de Londres men's.
Yeah, I think that's Ammonia. I believe they're a team, and Club Santa Cruzense de Londres, a Portuguese team.
Lucky.
So
you know what? You said that so casually. Yeah, Sunday.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think if you're running a competition, these aren't just teams. These are my clients. And I just think you have to understand. I hate when people get my name wrong. So I just think you have to make an attempt. And I forget which team it was, but one team actually shouted me out and said, "Oh, thank you for paying attention to our name and pronouncing it correctly." I just think that's a good way of earning respect. So yeah, two teams I don't know too much about either, but all that really means is what an opportunity, one, to get to the next round, and two, make a name for yourself, because plenty of people have said this is the best competition to be part of, and getting to the round of 16. I mean, you cannot overlook that. You cannot overlook that. I mean, the round of 16 in the Champions League is huge. Getting to the round of 16 in the World Cup is massive. So it's no different than this. What an opportunity for these two teams to not draw one of the on paper favorites, and huge opportunity. Huge opportunity.
Yeah. So that is the draw. That is a draw. And I guess you are really kind of excited. Again, this is literally where you come alive with like all of these cups happening and like what are you expecting in the final? As in, well, I'm not saying the teams, but just the whole vibe. Like, what are you expecting?
I mean, the Lambeth All Stars Gower final, the Dunlopinard Olympia final. People have got to come to these Sunday Challenge Cup finals. I mean, it was an atmosphere. It was an event. Or as the youngsters are saying now, it was a movie. It really was. Both teams were doing the most, and you just felt the vibe. So many important people were in the crowd. So many ballers were in the crowd. I know because I referee most of them. So this year I'm probably gonna work with the London committee and make sure that we make it a midweek final. We won't put it on a Sunday because we don't want ballers to have to miss their whatnot. So we'll make it as much of an atmosphere and spectacle as we can. But this is a real competition. This is a big competition. People don't understand. If you were to insert a league team into the Sunday Challenge Cup, there's no guarantee they would win. Step 6, step 5, don't even waste your time. You're going to have to bring in a really good step 4, maybe even a step 2 team to really guarantee that they can win the Sunday Challenge Cup. Honestly, this is the London Senior Cup is supposed to be our biggest competition, and it is on. But take any of those Senior Cup teams, the majority of those Senior Cup teams would not win the Sunday Challenge. They wouldn't. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen.
Mm.
So that's the future as well. I might create a Champions Cup. I'm definitely gonna have a Champions Cup tournament. All the Sunday Cup winners will play each other, and against the Saturday Cup winners in a 4-team tournament. So yeah, and I might give you the first opportunity to sponsor that tournament, but we'll see. But yeah, but yeah, no, I don't think because I want to. I do either because my clients ask for it, or because I think my clients would think it's a great idea. So, what do I expect from the Sunday Challenge Cup final? I expect an incredibly entertaining final, and who wins it, you cannot win this cup by accident.
Yeah.
The best always win this cup, and you might get a lucky draw here. Lambeth won last year; they were the best team. They beat Kizilback, they beat SC Dons. They had a difficult run and they beat everyone. Same thing with Dunlopin the year before. Whoever wins it this year, who's gonna win it? Ballers, SC Dons, Dunlopin. There's Kenningwell, Lambeth again. I mean, I wouldn't bet money on any of them because there's no guarantee. There's too many good teams.
Yeah, brilliant. Jamal, thank you so much for spending this hour. I'll say it's half an hour, should I say, with me. It's been a great insight. And again, this cup is, it's big. This is a great opportunity to literally stake your claim to actually be the best team in London. So I just want to wish all teams good health. And Jamal, we will definitely speak real soon. Again, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. Guys, please subscribe to the Amateur Football channel. Also, subscribe and follow Jamal on Instagram. And also subscribe and follow the London FA as well on Instagram and also on Twitter. So, from myself, Tabriz, from Jamal, have a great evening. We salute you.